2026 International Presidents Cup captain Geoff Ogilvy now joins me. Geoff, how much are you looking forward to next year's Presidents Cup?
Oh, incredibly, yeah. It's my favorite event that I've ever been involved with as a player and as an assistant captain. So to sort of get the nod to sort of lead the ship, if you like, with this group of guys, we love this group, and it's just such a fantastic week. So it's very exciting.
Take us back to when you found out the news. Where were you and just how excited were you and how honored did you feel that you were named the captain?
Yeah, well, the nature of sort of the group, the leadership group, if you like, of the last few captains, and got Weersy and Ernie Els and Trevor, and sort of it would have sort of been earmarked that maybe this one would be a good one, if it came up, but you never really know, So to get the phone call, not long after Royal Montreal, to be honest with you, that 2026 they wanted me to be the captain. It was pretty exciting, and it's an amazing honor. It's very humbling when you actually look at the list of players who have been captain of this tournament. It's an amazing list of players to be on, and I feel like I'm the odd one out in that list, but. Um, it's an incredible honor. The President's Cup's meant a lot to me. As I said, as a player and an assistant, I feel like I've been involved for a really long time, and to get a chance to sort of put my sort of stamp on it and have it's my turn to try to win this thing. It's going to be really fun.
Three times as a player in the President's Cup, four times as an assistant captain at the President's Cup. So you've seen both a lot of players, a lot of captains as well. What do you think you can take from those experiences to apply this time around when you're the captain?
Yeah, I mean, I've played under a bunch of captains. I mean, well, two captains, Gary Player and Greg Norman, which was obviously two legends of the game, and I learned a lot from both of those guys. And then Pricey, Nick Price, Ernie, Trevor, Mike Weir, um, all different guys and all sort of different style captaincies. And I think there's some learnings I think from all of them about some of their approaches and how they looked at captaincy. And the event has evolved a long way too. Since I first started playing in the mid 2000s, it's a lot more organized now, and it's a lot bigger event, and there's a lot more goes into it now. I think it's evolved over time. As everything does, it gets bigger and more important. And there's a lot to be learned from both as a player, as an assistant. I've seen it from both sides. And I think playing history is really helpful because I understand, I think, from the player's point of view, how they're feeling, what really makes their week better, what puts them in the best position to play as well as they can. And then on the leadership side, on the assistant captain side, I think I understand better than if I hadn't done it anyway. I've learned a lot about sort of relationships and dynamics and how sort of leadership sort of is successful. And there's a lot of the funny thing is there's no such thing as a perfect captain or a perfect player, and every single time the makeup of the team is a little different. So I think being flexible and open to everyone needs something slightly different, and everyone wants different stuff to get them in the best position to play well. I think I've picked up from everybody there's no one way to do this, so you can only be yourself. So I can't try to be someone else. I got to be the best version of me as I can, and hopefully I can get some assistants around me who sort of fill my blind spots, if you like. I've got strengths and weaknesses. I'll get some assistants that help me with my weaknesses, and I guess the whole idea, it feels like, is to make the whole greater than the sum of its parts, and that's sort of going to be the goal. So I think the captain does all the interviews and makes the speeches and gets the blame or the praise if they win or lose. But it really is a team effort. And I think if you can draw anything from the successful teams, be it the European Ryder Cup team or the US team when they're having really good runs, I think that it really is a collective, and I think everybody's involved and everybody buys into the way it goes. And the captain's just the guy making the speech at the end. So it really is going to be a team effort, and hopefully I can set the framework so everybody can thrive. And certainly I will have taken a little bit from every captain and a captain I've played under, a little bit from them, and sort of implement it in Geoff's way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does. And something you know very well is the golf course, Medina number three, because of course your design company was behind the renovation of the golf course. So, what if any kind of advantage does that give the international side come President's Cup week?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. I think obviously it was a fantastic place to work and a great job for our company. One of the most historic tournament venues, or it's historic clubs in general in the US. And as a tournament venue, it's hosted everything, the majors, the Ryder Cups, and it's a fantastic place. So to get the nod to come and sort of polish their masterpiece, if you like, sort of was an amazing call. And we had a great time working here. They're a great club to work with. So I know the course intimately, obviously, and we have some in design intent of how we kind of wanted the course to play, um, and probably a little bit of an idea of how the best players in the world would play it. You never really know until they turn up. I mean, they hit it so far these days. So hopefully, we got all that sort of stuff right. I think there's probably an advantage right now, but I think by the time it comes to Thursday of the tournament, I think professional golfers are very good at learning a golf course, and Brant and the US team are going to have, obviously they're going to scout the course, they're going to practice around the course, and all, and the quality of the yardage books and the analytics sort of stuff that can be done now. I think by the time we get to Thursday on the first tee, I think it'll be a pretty level playing field as far as sort of knowledge of the course. But I think we're probably in a better position right now. But by the time we start playing, I think that advantage will level out for sure.
Now, the President's Cup has been going on for quite some time, but it seemed like something really switched in 2019 when Ernie Els brought in the new logo, the shield, the colors. Geoff, am I onto something there that really the camaraderie with the international side began to really switch back in 2019 and has carried forward?
Oh, certainly, yeah. I mean, Ernie was very prophetic and about deciding. I mean, he just decided, look, we need to. We keep trying to put Canadian and Australian and South African and Korean flags all under the same sort of thing, and it was always felt just a little. I mean, we were a team, but it felt a little bit like every 2 years we'd become a team, and then I'll see you in 2 years. And Ernie, he put a lot of work and effort into the Shield and talked to some sort of team-based people and people who understood how powerful something like the Shield could be. And he introduced it to us in 19. And you're absolutely right. Ever since, it feels like we're always the international team. Even in off years, in off weeks, the guys will they'll be wearing this stuff to the gym on tour, and they'll be wearing it through the airport, and like using their drink bottles and talking about the Shield. And the phone chat group never dies anymore. Like it just keeps going. And there's, I mean, a lot of banter and memes and silly stuff that get shared on the chat. But like it really feels like it's the international team is always a team now. It's just we only play every 2 years, whereas before it just felt like we sort of tried to work it out from Monday to Sunday of the tournament, and then I'll see you in 2 years' time. But the Shield has been very powerful in that respect. And we also another amazing aspect is we're having young kids sort of come up to us now and aspire to, like, I want to wear that Shield one day. Like it's a symbol of being one of the best international players in the world. And I think there's a lot of power in playing under one symbol or shield that's sort of brought different cultures, a lot of different cultures that grow up completely differently and maybe are enemies when we play cricket or football or something. But like in golf, we are one unit, and it's been a really powerful thing. So you're right. Since 2019 was a real turning point in the international team's sort of evolution, and we're just trying to continue that all the time. And it's sort of it takes on a life of its own. It's got its own momentum, and these kids they run with it without us even had to try to push them. I mean, they are international guys through and through now.
Now, speaking of momentum, seven different PGA Tour events have been won so far in 2025 by international players, players eligible for the International President's Cup team. So, Geoff, what kind of team are you anticipating having next year?
You know what? It's really hard to tell. I think golf is or a golf career is so cyclical in nature. You know, guys will have a good year and then an off year, and then a good year and then an off year, and the nature of the way it is there's a lot of really big tournaments where you can make a big impact with the signature events and the majors and those sorts of events. So, I mean, we've sort of got an idea. You could probably pick out 12 out of a possible 20 or so at the moment. The top few are probably pretty predictable, you know. I mean, the Hidekis and the Corey Connors and the Jason Days and maybe the Taylor Pendrith, and they're sort of entrenched enough in the top of the world rankings that you would think that they'll definitely be part of the team, and we certainly hope they all are. But the rest, I don't know. It's very fluid. I mean, we've had some guys have a good year. We've had some young guys win some tournaments, but next year is a different year, and there's 12 more months and lots of tournaments to be played. So we've got a pretty good idea who the 12 will come from, but that group is quite big at the moment. But as time goes on and we get through into next year and we get into the major season next year, I think that the picture will get a bit clearer about who's going to be coming with us. And look, hopefully we have a lot of experience come back. It's always great to bring guys back who understand what they're signing up for, and they bring experience, which is invaluable. But rookies are amazing too, and they come in with such enthusiasm and excitement for the tournament too. So you really wanted some fresh faces as well. So I really don't have. Oh, I have some control by the time we get to the picks. I don't really have control about the form everyone's going to be in over the next 12 months. But I got a lot of faith that they're all pretty motivated. We've already had chats. The chat group was very sort of active throughout the Ryder Cup, and they're all talking about it. Well, it's sort of, oh, we get to do that next year. What are we going to do? And they're all very, very. We got a lot of motivated players on the international team. So the hard part's going to be cutting it down to 12.
Well, as we wrap here, Geoff, at Royal Montreal, there were three Canadians playing for the international team. Of course, we're in Canada, so I have to ask, how many Canadians do you think will be on your team next year in 2026?
Yeah, it's hard to say. As I said, I think we'll certainly. Um, I think two would be would be the worst you would do in Canada. I think Corey and Taylor. I'm not putting them in the team right now, but the way they play and they're so consistent and they're always up the top of the leaderboard, I would certainly imagine that they'll be a big part of the team. Mac Hughes was a fantastic addition to our team in Royal Montreal. He bought in and he is so invested in making this President's Cup next year. So we really hope for him because he was a fantastic team member and an excitement machine in the team. I mean, Adam Hadwin can certainly make it. Nick Taylor is one of the best players in the world right now. So, I mean, you could have up to five players, maybe even more. I don't know, but you could certainly have five players. It would be a fantastic result for our team. Chicago's not that far from Canada, so they're a great part of the team, and they bring the nice part of the thing. I mean, the Australians and the Africans, maybe they're a bit grumpy sometimes, but the Canadians are always nice.
Well, at Royal Montreal, we heard chants of INT, INT, the international team. Put up a good fight at Royal Montreal. Looking forward to seeing it again next year at Medinah. Geoff, as always, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you.